Brawl Talk just dropped and we have a lot to cover. I'm even filming this as I am away from my office because it is so important. We have 2 new Brawlers, 9 new Hypercharges. Angels and Demons are coming back, but you can equip 3 abilities at once, which is crazy. The first 2 worlds are being officially released of the map of Starr Park, which is like insane. And then we got more details on records, which are replacing mastery. There is a lot to talk about, and we're gonna start off with the 2 new Brawlers. Alli is the newest mythic brawler coming to the game. She is a shy assassin that lives in the swamp and also enjoys stalking and attacking people. Her main attack switches between a dashing mode, or dashing attack like Mortis's, to more of a pouncing attack, kind of like Miko's, depending on whether she's in water or in bushes when she uses the attack. If she is inside water or bushes, she will jump. Otherwise, she just dashes. And yes, Alli can travel over water or underwater. Anytime she moves underwater, she actually submerges below the surface, and her hair makes her look like a real alligator moving through the water. Honestly, it looks really, really cool. This makes me wonder if she can actually take damage underwater. I think that she would be able to. I mean, it would just be completely busted and broken if not, but yeah. Now, she does the same amount of damage whether she is pouncing on an enemy or dashing through them. As for her super, it gives her pulsing health, or stealth, is what Danny said. Honestly, I'm not exactly sure what that means. What's the difference between that and regular invisibility, or even if there is a difference? But it looks like she doesn't lose the invisibility by attacking. So maybe that's actually what it means. Now, they also mentioned that her super will increase the damage of her main attack. How much the damage is increased will depend on how much health the target has. The more health they have, the more extra damage they will take. Now, the extra damage appears to only be added to the first attack after using her super, but in this clip, we actually see the attack dealing double her normal damage. Now, I don't know if that has to do with the fact that she's actually hitting more than one brawler with the attack, or if it's because she's hitting a Frank who has a lot of health, but either way, that's seriously some crazy damage. Now, Alli also has a new trait called Enraged. This trait simply increases her movement speed if she is near brawlers with low health. Now, there are a lot of details surrounding this trait that were just impossible to determine from Brawl Talk alone. Like, how close does a damaged brawler need to be? How low does their health need to be? How much faster can this trait actually make her? We also didn't hear about what any of her other star powers or gadgets do. I'm thinking at least one of the star powers has to do with this red icon next to her ammo bar, since it's only in some of the clips. And obviously I'm going to have answers for all of these questions in a future sneak peek video. So make sure you guys subscribe, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss it. Sorry, I have to do the YouTuber thing sometimes, right? Next is our newest epic brawler coming to the game, and their name is Trunk. And when I say there, I don't mean genderless. I mean, like, there's multiple people, ants, in Trunk. Yeah, it's not an ordinary, very real tree, but instead it's actually a fake mechanical tree, or maybe it's not mechanical, I don't know, but it's built by a bunch of ants that control Trunk from the inside. I like to think of the bird from A Bug's Life. You know, you got all the little ants inside of the bird and it scares away the grasshoppers. No? Too old for you guys? Oh, jeez. Anyway, these ants are rightfully out for revenge due to the death of one of their fallen ant friends. This is just hilarious. Trunk's main attack spins itself around, dealing damage to all brawlers inside of its radius, very similar to Jackie's main attack. However, there is a thin ring around the edge of the attack that appears to deal extra damage to enemies if they are just touching that ring. Each attack also leaves a pile of dirt and ants behind, and these ants will increase the movement speed and the attack speed of Trunk while standing on top of them. Now, Trunk's super launches itself forward, dealing little bursts of damage to all the enemies in its path, very similar to like Bull's super. You know, it kind of looked actually a little bit like Barry's somewhat, but Trunk's super also bounces off of walls, which is interesting. So again, maybe it's a little bit more like Daryl, right? Ants will be thrown on the ground during the whole super, leaving a trail of ants behind it. Are they sacrificing their fallen comrades to revenge for the one? I mean, maybe they lost their queen ant. I don't know. There were no indication as to how many ants can be placed on the map at once, or how many ants were harmed in the making of this brawler, but we did see one pile disappear, so we know that they do not stay on the map forever. They mentioned that the ants can also be used to reduce damage from enemy brawlers, but that was said while a star power icon was on the screen, so I'm fairly confident that that means that that's going to be one of Trunk's star powers. And of course, I'll be able to show you guys the rest of Trunk's abilities, gadgets. No hypercharge, I don't think, but anyway, in a future video. But we do have 9 new hypercharges coming to the game. Lumi's hypercharge creates 2 additional blasts that hit on each side of the last blast radius with her super. Since it is the last blast, all 3 of them will root enemies like normal. This, oh man, Lumi's already so strong. Come on. Now for Doug's hypercharge, any friendly brawler with a hypercharged hot dog over their head will now copy Doug's main attack whenever Doug uses his main attack. Think of it kind of like RT's like super when he's split. When RT attacks, then both the base and the head also attack, except that like you can throw out an Edgar, and then Edgar can jump on enemies, and then Doug's super will splash down. Now, obviously, Doug is most of the time using the super on himself, so I'm not sure if Doug's main attack will deal double the damage, or if the hypercharge just doesn't make any difference. I don't know, but I'm really interested to find out. Kit's hypercharge. If Kit uses his super on an enemy, his hypercharge will stun the enemy and allow Kit to keep attacking and moving around instead of being stuck on the brawler that he stuns. And if his super is onto a teammate's, his hypercharge will give him extra healing, and it will make his yarn balls bounce a little bit further after hitting the ground to make them easier to land. Think very similar to like Sprout's attack. Next is RT's hypercharge, and this summons tons of markers that quickly revolve around both halves of his body and his head that mark and deal damage to enemies by them. We didn't see what happens if his super is activated when his body is already split, but I assume that the same thing is going to happen, but he will have 1 set of markers rather than just 2. Now we didn't see what happens if his super is activated while his body is not split, but I assume that the same thing will happen. We'll just have to find out if it is going to be 2 sets of things rotating around him or if it'll just be 1. And if it's 2, like, damage, man. Next, we have Chuck's hypercharge. Now, this gives him unlimited range for his next dash, so he could just have 1 on a high safe and just go from one side of the map to the next. Oh my gosh. But it is actually unclear if this only applied to the dash to the first post, or if he can hit all of his posts no matter how far away they are from them. Either way, I mean, he also shoots clouds of smoke from each side of him as he dashes that will deal damage to enemies, which is just gonna make him even stronger in Heist. It's insane. I mean, you know, in case Chuck needs to be banned more in Heist. Shade's hypercharge simply makes it so that when he uses his super, his main attack deals double the damage no matter where the attack lands on the enemy until the super runs out. So this is going to be really, really useful because, like, man, because he can move so fast and he's going in and out of walls and you don't have to worry about the crit strike. You can just like auto aim. He's going to be so good. Mo's hypercharge gives his super a lot more range and also allows Mo to travel underground way faster while using it. It also increases the duration that Mo is inside of his drill for. It's hard to tell exactly how long that will be just by the footage. I'll show that in a future video though. Draco's hypercharge shoots more flames while he's in his super form, and the range of the attack is wider and way further. So more damage for all you people who love facing off against Draco. And finally, we got Bonnie. Bonnie's hypercharge is going to stun enemies when she lands out of her cannon and stun enemies that she hits after landing. So if she just jumps up and lands right back down, that stuns enemies twice, okay? She also fires 6 little teeth in different directions when she blasts off, and they will all deal similar or small amounts of damage. Okay, next we have the Trophy Road rework. And honestly, the Trophy Road is just getting a major facelift. It's going to look so much better. And I know that this might not sound like the craziest change coming to the game, but for somebody who loves the lore of Starr Park, I'm really excited about having an actual map of Starr Park. Like way more excited than I actually should be. I don't know why I'm so hyped about it, but here's how it's gonna work. Every new player is going to start out in the town square of Starr Park. And just like you do now, as you gain trophies, you will progress along the Starr Road track and then earn resources. But those resources are getting a massive buff since the resources that were previously in Masteries are actually going to be mostly put towards the Trophy Road, with a lot of the other resources moving to Records, which will talk more about next. But something to note is that the rare and the super rare brawlers are actually being moved away from the Starr road, and the only way you'll be able to unlock them is through the trophy road. Kind of funny because that actually, wait, did it used to be that way? Yeah. Wait, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting. Yeah. You would unlock Nita at 15 trophies. Wow, that's weird. Wait, is that still? I'm so confused. Anyway, it's been a long day. Honestly, though, I'm just really hyped about unlocking new worlds in Starr Park, even if it's just the artwork. I just love the lore, so I'm really excited about this. Okay, but let's actually talk about records, okay? This is the other part where resources from masteries are moving not just to Trophy Road, but also to records, somewhat, in the form of star drops, both regular and legendary star drops. Now, records are an achievement-based system that allows you to earn resources and cosmetics by doing specific things within the game. And here's what I figured out based off of Brawl Talk. I'm not gonna go over every tiny little record right now, but I'll show you a good, like what records are in the game in a future video. But there's essentially 3 types of records, okay? There are records that give you just XP towards your record level, and I'll talk about the benefits of having an increased record level a little bit later on. There are also resource records with star drops or legendary star drops in them, as well as XP. And then the third type is XP plus cosmetics, okay? So like the brawler pins, the brawler icons, and the brawler titles that you used to get from mastery on top of course, the record XP. Now, the record XP, the more that you get, that will increase your record level. And there are really 2 reasons for you to increase your record level. The big reason really is to just flex on other people, right? To try and have the highest record level that you possibly can. When you join a match, your record level is actually going to be shown at the top of your player card, and records are just going to be a good reflection of your total play time and how invested you are in completing records, I guess. So I could see it being kind of a cool flex, especially for those who are willing to really focus their time on completing records. But honestly, I think most players are only going to focus on the records that will get them the star drops. The good news is that the grinding will be way less than beforehand if you want to get like a brawler mastery or something like that. Now, the second reason for you to increase your record level is to unlock specific battle card backgrounds that are unlocked when you increase your record level. Obviously, if you think that these look cooler than other battle cards, then like cool. Otherwise, the biggest reason to focus on increasing your record level is just so that you can flex on other players with your level. But like if you get the Masters background card or whatever, then you're going to be using that one. And so like, I don't know, it's going to be interesting to see what most players actually like to use. What I am excited to do though is to unlock the resources from records. So let's cover some of the specific records that I actually showed in Brawl Talk. And yeah, each brawler has 5 tabs. And so whenever they release a new brawler, these 5 tabs will come into the game. The resources are way less than each brawler mastery would actually give you because, well, anyway, let's just go over them. If you win 20 games with a brawler, then you will get a star drop. If you win 50 games with that brawler, you will get another star drop. If you win 100 games with a brawler, you will unlock their facepalm pin. And then if you win 200 games with the brawler, you will get their icon. In order for you to get Brawler's mastery title now, you will have to win 500 games with that brawler. So if there's a brawler that you want a title for before this all moves over, now is the time to do so because the Mastery Madness event is going on. I think by the time you're seeing this video, it's already at 11 times or 1000% bonus mastery. So definitely do that if you want a specific title. Now there are additional achievements that you can unlock that are tied to brawlers as well. For example, there was a Frank's like Aren't I Stunning record where your goal is to stun 3 enemies with 1 super 2 times in a single match. That is on top of the win-based record folder for each individual brawler. So Frank both has the records for getting wins with Frank, and then he also has this Aren't I Stunning record. And some of these records honestly look like they're going to be very difficult to complete. They gave the example in Brawl Talk of defeating all 9 other brawlers in a solo showdown match, which I've personally only done maybe 4 or 5 times in my 8 years of playing Brawl Stars. So, like, that's really hard to do. And they also have a record example where you need to take down 3 brawlers while attached to a friendly brawler with kit and bounty. Being star player 500 times is a record that will get you a legendary star drop. There are, I'm not even covering all of the ones that were shown in Brawl Talk, but hopefully they've been up on the screen. You can kind of like see them for yourself. There's a lot of really interesting records here. I'm not actually super sure how much I'm going to push records. Again, I'm going for the resources, those free star drops. I know that most star drops are just rare and super rare and you don't really care about them, but every now and then they do get upgraded to mythic and legendary and can save you a lot of like coins. But I'll be covering these more in depth in a future video. Now, one of the special events that we're going to be having here is actually a return of the Angels versus Demons event, which I'm hyped for because that is one of, if not my favorite event that we've had. It will only be lasting for 12 days and you will then be opening up angelic drops, which will contain more angel cosmetics and the new angel powers for your brawlers to use in certain modes. And unlike the previous Angels versus Demons event, if you open enough angelic drops, then you will be able to equip 3 of the powers at the same time. Now, the Demons event will last another 12 days and will be the same as the Angel event, except that you will be opening up demonic drops, which will contain demon cosmetics and demon powers that are all different from the angel powers. So everybody will be angels, and then everybody will be demons. And these events are going to start in July and end sometime in August. So I'm excited to see how it goes. It'll be pretty hyped. Okay, now let's take a look at all the new skins, okay? I do not have the official prices for most of these, so you'll have to wait for a future video. But the Legends of the Underworld is the next event, and we've got the Hades Mortis Brawl skin as the Brawl Pass skin, along with the Brawl Pass Plus chromas, Serapis Mortis and Pluto Mortis. Now, the other skins coming in this update are sort of categorized into heroes and villains, with the villains being Hypno Sandy and then Pegasus Barry, and then the heroes are Icarus Bonnie and Sheepish Daryl, and with Persephone Lumi being a little bit of both. You never know with Persephone. Next is the Knights of the Star Table, which will be the following event that starts in August. Okay, King Starther Bow will be the Brawl Pass skin, with King Archer Bow and King Knight Bow as the Brawl Pass Plus chromas. Now, the other Knights of the Star Table include Knight Amber, Knight Doug, Knight Jackie, this one kind of looks like Jessie, honestly, and Knight Lily, as well as Knight Bell. I don't know which my favorite is going to be, but I can almost guarantee you there's going to be some match where I'm expecting Knight Jessie to be attacking me from a distance when really it's Jackie or something like that. Like, that's going to mess me up, I can guarantee you. Now, during the Angels and Demons event, you'll also be able to unlock some of the previous skins like Angel Mortis, Angel Edgar and Demon Mortis, as well as brand new Angel skins and Demon skins. For the Angels, we've got Blessed Buster, Ascended 8-Bit, and Martyr Meg. And then for the Demons, we have Infernal Fang, Hell Bull, and Grim Gus. Now, the Pro Pass Season 1 is about to end, which means that we have a new 4-month Pro Pass coming into the game, including Possessed or Haunted Dynamite. This skin looks like something straight out of my nightmares. Like the previous ranked skin, there will be a couple of upgrades for the skin, as well as 2 chromas for the final form. And yeah, I'm excited. I've enjoyed pushing and ranked and unlocking these skins, so it'll be exciting to see how this happens again. Then there are, of course, a bunch of miscellaneous 29 gem skins, including Biker Buster, Jackpot Griff, Egg Explosion Tick, Phantom Poco, as well as 5 or 6 different kits skins. Some of them are just cat names, and then some of them are actually named after cats owned by the developers of Brawl Stars, which is kind of cool, right? Kaze and Jae Young are also receiving their True Gold and True Silver skins, and Barley is getting a slight update to make his main look a little bit more shiny and polished. Now we're getting 2 new game modes coming into the game. First of all is Dodge Brawl, and then Night Fight. In Dodge Brawl, the match starts with a dodgeball in the middle of the map. The objective is for you to actually pick up the dodgeball and hit enemies with it. There can be multiple dodgeballs on the map at once. I'm not sure exactly how many or how they will spawn or whatever. I guess we'll find out. Probably maybe 3 at the beginning. I don't know. But hitting an enemy with a dodgeball will be the only way for you to kill a brawler and the only way for you to score points. So this is no longer a match about supers and damage and whatever. It's who can get to the ball fastest and who has the best aim and who can dodge the ball, right? Like, it's gonna be crazy. First team to score 10 points is gonna win. This one's really unique. I'm really excited to try this one. Then we have Night Fight, like rounds of the night table, right? This game mode is very similar to Present Plunder, since the objective is to steal a trophy that sits in the enemy spawn and you have to bring it back to your spawn. But in Night Fight, the trophy cannot be thrown, so once you pick it up, you don't put it down unless you score or you die. That being said, you can now still attack and use all of your abilities while holding the trophy. So I assume it'll probably be like the best first team to 2 points will actually win. The Uno game mode is coming back to the game, but it is now called Token Run and has some slight adjustments to make it more competitive, which, like, I could see that. I could see it being competitive. We'll see. Not like endgame competitive, but competitive for like 90% of the players, right? The goal is to bring the tokens that spawn on your side of the map over to the enemy side and deposit them in their spawn. But the tokens now spawn in the same order, and so that will remove a lot of the RNG from it and stuff like that. And the first team to deposit all their tokens actually wins. Now we also saw that the tutorial has been updated, and there are a few other brawler reworks that we need to quickly cover. Okay, Draco's rework simply will now show the duration of his super with a red bar underneath his ammo bar. I know, not too crazy, but Bull is getting a crazy rework to his super. You can now choose how far it goes, very much like Ollie's and Mo's super, and the super will now stop as soon as he hits a brawler. When he stops on contact, nearby brawlers will be slowed, and just as if he used his Stomper gadget. Really, really good rework to Bull in my opinion. Now, his Stomper gadget is obviously going to be reworked, and it will make it so that you will now stun enemies near his super instead of just slowing them down. That's really strong. Bull could be really good after this. Doug is also getting some long-awaited reworks, okay? He can now charge his super by healing teammates. His super will now sharply hone in on enemies, making it very hard to miss. And the last rework is to his fast food star power, which will not only speed up revived brawlers still, but will also fully heal Doug as soon as they are revived, which could mean some really good plays. I'm almost certain this is finally what has been needed to get Doug out of the F tier, but we'll have to see. Now, I've got another sneak peek video posting soon where I will go into more details of everything that you saw here in Brawl Talk. Specifically, we'll take a deeper look at the Starr Road, as well as the records and balance changes and new Hypercharge details and all sorts of different stuff like that. You're also not gonna wanna miss the Alli Olympics and the Trunk Olympics, so make sure you guys subscribe for that. And yeah, use code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Kairos, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop. Yeah. Sorry, like I said, been a long day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.